Hey, Slash, how you doing, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? I thought I'd do a Tuesday live video, mostly because I'm off today and I'm off tomorrow, so I can relax tomorrow. I don't typically do live videos when I work the following day, but since I'm off tomorrow, I thought, what the hell? I wanted to drink one of my really good beers. In all honesty, these beers are beers that could age for years. But I've hung on to them for about 3 months now, and I really want to drink them, man. Since we are into that winter, I was waiting for a time when it felt like it was appropriate to drink a beer like this. It is cold out there, man. So I thought, well, what the hell? Let's pop this sucker. But I wanted to pair it with something else as well. Oops. Hit the wrong button there. Let me try that again. Adjust this here. I can't seem to get my privacy to stay. I have to adjust it every time, and I don't know if there's a way to get around that. I just haven't figured it out yet, I guess. There we go. Now we're in business. Anyway, how the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer and Whiskey Whisperer, at least for the purposes of this video. But right now I want to focus on just this beer. It is the Black Maple, Jackie O's Bourbon Barrel Black Maple Imperial Porter brewed with maple syrup aged in bourbon barrels. This one is at 12.6%, 12.7 fluid ounces. All righty. Let me read this to you here. Black Maple was first brewed in 2013 as a one-off batch designed to explore the capabilities of our brew house. After its long rest in bourbon barrels, Black Maple quickly became a perennial favorite. Now brewed every year in late summer, Black Maple features a diverse grist of barley, wheat, chocolate malt, caramel malt, wheat, and a pinch of smoked malt. Very nice. Locally harvested maple syrup added late in the boil adds earthy complex complexities. There we go. Speak, Tom. Earthy complexities to this lavish imperial porter. So there we go. I was looking for a date. I wasn't seeing I was looking for. It doesn't say specifically when this one was brewed. I'm going to assume it was last year, the 2024 when I bought it, but I'm not seeing a date on the bottle per se. Anyway, so I did pour to take a picture, but I haven't checked the nose or tasted it at all. So I'm having it for the first time with you. Oh my God. Wow. Holy crap. That's gonna hurt tomorrow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, shit biscuits and gravy. Well, you really, really, really feel all of that on the nose. I mean, everything they mentioned. You definitely feel the maple, the chocolate malt, the wheat, even. Mm. Wow. I worked. Well, we officially closed at 7 on New Year's Eve, but it was close to 7:30 before I got everybody out there, and it was about 8:30 before I was done. It was close to 9 before I got home. So I did decide to pop one of my Jackie O's. It was the Cellar Cuvée 15, and then I also had I had the Echo Spirits honey barrel bourbon that I paired with it, and that was it for me, man. It was a long night. I did make it to midnight, but that's all I had. But ever since then, I've been thinking of these Jackie O beers and when I should drink them, and should I save them for special occasions? And the answer I came up with was that drink them when it feels like they should be drank. And we have this, you know, bitterly cold weather here in the Ozarks. I'm not as cold as some of you in certain parts of the country, but for us, it's very cold right now. And I thought, well, this is a good time to pop a beer like this when I could sit and enjoy it. So I'm going to drink. I'm not going to drink all of it with you, to be honest with you. I'm going to drink a portion here, but I'm going to save some to do a video specifically for the beer. But I want to drink some of this with you live, so you can. Oh my God, that's a delicious. So you can see my reactions the first time I had this. Oh my Lord, that's amazing. It is a little viscous. I'm not going to lie to you. You definitely feel those maple notes. Almost feels like you get a little bit of molasses in there as well. Wow, that is special, man. You really feel those big barley notes, chocolate malt, pinch of smoke malt. Yeah, I think that's what really sets it apart, right? That just that touch of smoke malt really does something to you. And that maple syrup, oh my Lord. And I picked up two barrel aged maple syrups while I was in that area. And I'll show you one. I've got one of them here sitting next to me. Uh, Pure Columbiana County, Ohio maple. This is Sweetwater. So I've got another one that I can't remember the brand name off the top of my head, but I picked up two. I would have picked up more if I saw more. I found two. I bought two. But I kind of love that about the area is that I mean that they had a lot of specialty items like that, a lot of local stuff. And anytime I'm on vacation, I really want to concentrate and buy local. Oh, this stuff is gorgeous, man. Okay, I'm going to jump off camera for a second here because I fixed a cocktail that I thought would pair with this. And you'll understand as soon as I bring the cocktail out and explain it to you, but I'll be right back. Bear with me. So a couple years ago, a friend of mine that I'm going to do the and a chaser show tomorrow with Jersey Johnny gave me a recipe for a give me a recipe for a maple old fashioned. And since then, I've done various versions of, and I have said on other occasions that I do prefer the drink served straight up as opposed to the big ice cube. So what I've done here, because again the maple in this particular beer, and because I have this, Ohio bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, I wanted to do a maple old fashioned, but I wanted to put a different spin on it. So in this case, I did a chocolate maple old fashioned where I used my watershed bourbon out of Columbus, Ohio. This is an uncut, unfiltered bourbon. Let me show you that bottle. Creating whiskey means mastering the elements within your control, being your own critic, accepting that the barrel has the final say despite your efforts. This rare bourbon spends over 4 years in our Ohio made, how about that? Char five barrels until it's ready to be bottled without water or filtration. Each bottle arrived to you as it was in the barrel, untouched, unbothered, uncut, and unfiltered. So I've used 2 ounces of this bourbon. I've used 1 ounce as a chocolate maple old fashioned. I've used 2 ounces of that bourbon. I used 1 ounce of cream de cocoa. or cacao, depending on how you want to pronounce. 1 ounce of the maple syrup that I showed you. A couple dashes of some black walnut bitters and a couple dashes of cocoa bitter. So I want to change the game a little bit. Didn't want to reinvent the wheel per se, but just change it slightly. Oh, oh man. So being me, I made this particular cocktail, and I tasted it. I put a little excess here in the shot glass, and I thought, huh, I taste no harshness from that from that whiskey at all. I'm tasting the cream de cocoa, the maple, the bitters, etc. So I gave my wife a little taste, and I thought I was going to kill her. I thought we were going to have to call poison control for a second. I didn't mean to do damage, but apparently my taster is much different than most when it comes to alcohol because I don't really taste any burn. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the excessive Irish in my blood. I couldn't tell you, but hell, I don't know. Well, I say that as kind of a joke. I mean, at most, at the very most, I'm 50% Irish. I claim mostly Irish because my dad was half Irish, and the name is Irish. But I mean, you know, nobody's really clear on what's on my mom's. That's a little iffy right there. And then my dad was half Irish, half German. So, but I've always claimed to be more on the Irish side because I've never had the urge to invade Poland or to oppress or to oppress any peoples. Yeah, we all just get along. Yeah. But well, yeah, for whatever reason, man. The older I get, obviously I'm not impervious to alcohol because it affects me. But taste wise, I do enjoy cask products the older I get because I really feel like I taste those intricate notes that get watered down if you're having a 90 proof bourbon or even an 80 proof bourbon. They tend to taste watery to me, but when I taste a cask product, I really feel like I'm tasting everything that particular whiskey has to offer, and I don't get that burn that others do, that hotness that some feel. I just don't feel that. But we picked up some cream de cocoa today because I wanted to try to recreate a chocolate martini that my wife had while we were on vacation. I didn't quite get there, but I'll keep working on it. But but that was the reason I wanted to try to reinvent or just kind of not reinvent, but change up the maple old fashioned a little bit, make it a chocolate maple, and a little bit of that cream de cocoa to the whiskey and the bourbon barrel aged maple. Because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I wanted to kind of change it up, make it a slightly different cocktail without changing it completely. I use all the components that I would use in the maple old fashioned. I just added the cream de cocoa and the cocoa bitters to add another dimension to it, if you will. And wow, it's delicious, man. That's really tasty, man. I don't care who you are. That's just good, man. Yeah, and I don't know what it is about me, to be honest with you, why I don't feel that burn. I just don't. Just don't. I can't tell you. Uh, I don't know that my dad did either, to be honest with you, but he drank mostly a Jim Beam, which is 80 proof, Jack Daniels, which at the time he was drinking, it was mostly 90 proof. and then Wild Turkey, which was 101. But I remember him drinking 101 like it was nothing. I mean, it would affect him, don't get me wrong, but as far as being able to taste it, now, so there may be some genetics involved. Hell, I don't know. And the one thing I do love about cask products is, again, I do feel like I can taste all those other things that others can't, right? Or someone else will drink a cask whiskey and just feel the burn. I'll drink that cask whiskey and taste all those little intricacies that others might not. And I drink an 80 proof of bourbon, and so that's like drinking water, man. But then when you drink a product like that, yes, obviously drink quite less, right? Yeah, drink a lot less, man. Have one cocktail and call it a night, which is what I did on New Year's Eve. I was tired. That was a night, man. They were putting the hurt on an old man that night. But it was, as I say that, but let me walk that back slightly. It was rather enjoyable because even though I was working, I was with all of my friends, all of the people that I would have wanted to be around anyway. So it was nice. It was very nice. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But now we're into January, things are slowing down. Money's tight, and you got these folks that want to do dry January. Now, I don't necessarily hold anything against folks that want to take a breather. It's just that when people want to dictate when you do that, that's what bothers me, right? Dry January, sober October. If you want to be sober for 4 weeks, pick the 4 weeks. But do you really need Big Brother to tell you January is dry January? You must quit drinking now. It's sober October. You must quit drinking. So that's what bothers me, and that might be because I'm a little bit, oppositional defiant. If you tell me I have to do something, I'm gonna, not do that. But I don't have an issue with folks wanting to stop drinking. I really don't. It's just that a very specific month saying no, you need to stop now. That bothers me a little bit because now we're starting to. It's like a beginner fascism, right? We're just testing the water to see how many of you are compliant. If we say this is dry January, how many of you are going to comply? So we know who's going to comply and who we're going to need to work. Anyway, like Taco Tuesday, for instance. I don't have a problem with Taco Tuesday per se, but why can't I enjoy tacos on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday? Why are you picking a very specific day for me to go out and buy tacos? See, I think about these things. Of course, I'm kidding, but uh, it doesn't change. When people want to start dictating what you can do each day, each month, I start to think about why do they want to. It does feel like they're trying to see what they can control and what they can't. And maybe it's this whiskey that's starting to catch up with me. This is really good. This is really good, man. So anyway, yeah, no, if you've got, I'm just kidding, man. But if you got a notion to try a maple old fashioned, the maple old fashioned is whatever whiskey you want to use, whatever maple you want to use. You don't have to use bourbon barrel aged, but I do prefer anytime I do a maple old fashioned. Yeah, I want to use a barrel aged maple, and this stuff is just amazing. Um, Black walnut bitter. So that was the recipe that was given to me. Do you have to use that? No, I don't think so. I mean, if you want to play around with whatever works for you, I certainly don't have an issue with that. But I will tell you that I do really like those black walnut bitters. But I wanted to add the cream de cocoa to try to do a chocolate maple old fashioned. That's why I added the cocoa bitters to go along with the black walnut. as we wrap up this particular video, I'm going to pull that cinnamon stick out of there. So, to make it easier to drink this, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Sláinte. I'm also Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Sláinte. Thanks for tuning in, guys.